Hello, guys. The key to attracting love or relationships in your life has to do with letting go. It has to do with detachment of the outcome. And I want to share with you a very personal story about my life and how I used to be very insecure about love and relationships, especially in my teenage years, and how that actually completely changed in a matter of 9 months. So let me get back to the beginning of when I was about, let's say, 15, 16, 17 years. I had these, a lot of fears about love and girlfriends, and I had a lot of fears about not being good enough to have a relationship, or that people, or that girls would not like me. I had a lot of insecurities about expressing how I felt unapologetically, to girls or to women in general. And I can still remember a very distinct fear that I had. I was watching a television soap, and in that soap there was one guy that was 16 years old, and they described him as someone that was a late bloomer in the area of love and relationships. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, I'm 17 or 16, I can't remember exactly, but I was 16 or 17. That means I'm a late bloomer as well. And I started to compare myself to that person. And I started to have this thought popping up into my mind. What if I'm gonna be a virgin until very late in life? Because there was this movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I remember how they were like making fun of him and stuff. And I had this fear. I had this fear of not finding love, remaining virgin, all these fears about love. And it wasn't until I entered college at the age of 19 that I had my first girlfriend. I want to tell you how it happened, because I wasn't necessarily looking, like really looking for our relationship, but I was open to it. And it kind of happened by itself, when I noticed that when love happens, when you attract a person, it almost always happens in a state of flow. It's never from that place of, please come to me. No, it doesn't happen in that feeling of, please come to me, I need you, please. No, love doesn't happen when you're in that type of vibration, And when I had my first relationship with, there was back then a girl from Venezuela, Latin America, and I learned a lot about being comfortable with ladies and with sex. But then at 2.5 years later, when we broke up, when I was about 22 years old, I went through a period of being single, and I started to ask myself a lot of questions. What do I want in a partner? But I still had a lot of these fears. I found myself having one relationship. I had some experience, but I still had this nagging feeling of missing out on opportunities, because I would sometimes have a nice interaction with someone I liked, but then it always stopped at some point. It stopped at a point before I wanted it to stop. For example, I wanted to go on a date with that particular person, but the conversation would stop before we would ever end up on a date, and that would frustrate me. And there was a point in 2015 when I was traveling. I was hitchhiking to Portugal, and there was a farm there. There was a farm, and we could work there, and in exchange we would get food, and we would get a sleeping place for free in exchange for our work there. We would work about 6 hours a day, and there were people there from all over the world, and there was one girl from America, I believe. Yes. And I remember there was some tension in the atmosphere. And at a certain point, we were at a distant place. There was some music there. There was some alcohol, and we were dancing at that party place. And then when the party was over, we were heading back to the camping place, to the farm where we were all sleeping. And I remember I was walking next to her, to that lady that I had a small crush on. Not really a crush, was more like an attraction, you know. And I remember holding her hand, and we had like quite a romantic walk together back to the farm. And I remember that really intense tension, that magnetic love, sexual tension. And I was holding her hand, and we were talking, and a lot of the communication was subconscious, you know. It's about the feeling that you have while you're with that person. How are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious, fearful, or are you feeling something, you know, something powerful, something positive, but also very beautiful at the same time? It's a matter of staying in control of your emotions at that time. But to get back to the point, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit veering off. We got to a point where we were kissing, and then but that's where it ended, you know. And a few days later, we got ourselves again in a romantic scenario, and let's say that at that point in time, my focus was on, I would like to go to bed with this lady. But somehow it didn't happen because of insecurities playing up inside of me. Okay, I had some insecurities about sex, and I somehow did not end up sleeping with her, and it kind of frustrated me. I was like, every single time I want to experience something, and somehow I'm not ending there. Somehow something is blocking me from going there, and it kind of stuck into my mind. And when I got back in Belgium after that beautiful trip in Portugal, it kept that idea of, I really want to do something about my relationships. I really need to tackle this area of my life because it's causing me so much frustration. Every time I want to have something, I want to go on a date, or I want to sleep with a certain person, or, you know, I want to just be open-hearted about how I feel, and I want to have this romantic time with that person. Every time I want to have that, something's blocking me from actually going there. And so I moved out from my parents' place very soon after I came back. I started to live on my own. I had a friend back then, and he was into Pickup. You know, Pickup was this whole dating community. And I decided, okay, why not give it a go? So I decided to go out with him on the street, and we would start to approach girls, or ladies. And I remember the first 3 months I wouldn't be very successful. You know, I would have not really a date or something. It's only after 3 months of consistent practice we would start to get dates, or I would start to get some dates once in a while. And after 6 months, I would start to sleep with different ladies. And I believe after 9 or 12 months, after 9 months, I would have, I would be having casual encounters with about 4 or 5 ladies at the same time. And that was an achievement in my mind that I would never see myself doing 1 year ago. So this is my main message, is that the moment I had a breakthrough with regards to my sexual life, it was the moment I really detached from the outcome. I was just going out to parties to have fun. I wasn't go out to chase girls, sleep with girls. No, I went out to have fun. I went out to generally have a good time, and I think that should be the focus in regards to finding a partner, or when the mindset that you should have when you go on a date to meet someone. It should be to have fun. It should be to get to know the person It should not be to acquire a soulmate. It should not be to, with that outcome in mind that you want so badly. We should let it go and focus on the feeling of being there. How beautiful will it feel to be there? How nice is it going to be to meet that person, to get to know everything about that person? It was that shift in mindset that I believe really changed a lot for me in the area of relationships and dating and love. And now I am together with, I can proudly say, the woman of my dreams. And I believe it happened because I learned to detach from the outcome. The moment I started to let go of that fixation of having, sleeping with as many women as possible. I know that's a very guy thing. That's a very guy objective. Mainly guys will be able to relate to this. I know. But the moment I started to let go of this fixation is the moment things started to happen, and very, very fast. Very fast. It was the combination of actively going out and meeting people with detachment. And when these two came together, so the action-oriented part and the detachment, when these two came together, magic started to happen. Magic. I had results in 6 months that most guys in that community would have in 4 or 5 years. I had the same results in 6 months, 6 to 9 months. So I'm just saying that the power of detachment is beyond imagination. The moment we start to feel very comfortable with what we want, the moment it's no longer this thing that we don't have, this far off distant dream, the moment that distant feeling, because you are distancing yourself from that beautiful thing that you want, the moment you start to distance yourself, the moment you start to detach from that feeling of scarcity, of not having, of wanting it so badly, it's a game changer. It's, I believe, is the main thing that blocks people from attracting love and relationships and their dream partner. So I hope you got something out of my personal story. Feel free to share your personal story in the comments down below and let me know how you are going, how you're dealing with your love life. And by all means, let me know what you're struggling with, and perhaps I can even help you. I will leave you a comment down below. I will try to help you. So leave me a comment down below and I will try to help you. Okay? Signing off. Bye-bye.